Hello everyone, welcome to the first session, Cultural Heritage and Tourism, with me, Teguh Amor Patria. Have you ever seen ancient artifacts in a museum? Did you know that each artifact holds the story of a civilization's journey and is part of our cultural heritage? Let's discuss this together. Begin with the earliest manifestations of heritage tourism. One of the earliest forms of heritage tourism was pilgrimage. Then, biblical and other ancient accounts provide evidence of the noble classes traveling to view sites that were already old. Between 1600s and mid-1800s, the Grand Tour was another important historical phase of heritage tourism. But perhaps the best-known modern origins of heritage tourism were the experiences of Thomas Cook, the father of modern travel agents, tour operator, and group tours. Cook began his career as a travel agent and tour operator in 1841 when he arranged a train trip for people to attend a special event in England. Today, historic sites and living cultures are among the most popular attractions everywhere. So, what's the meaning of heritage? Heritage scholars agree on one basic concept of divine heritage. It is what we inherit from the past and use and value in the present day. History is the past, whereas heritage is the modern-day use and valuation of the past for tourism and other purposes, such as education, community development, and scientific exploration. In broad terms, heritage includes both natural heritage and cultural heritage. The cultural heritage used today includes both tangible and intangible elements. Examples of tangible heritage are buildings, archaeological remains, rural landscapes and villages, cities, art collections, artifacts in museums, historic gardens, handicrafts, and antiques. Heritage also encompasses non-material elements of culture, including music, dance, beliefs, social values, ceremonies, rituals, and folklore. Now, what is heritage tourism? Some people define heritage tourism simply as people visiting heritage places or viewing historical resources. For the purpose of this learning, heritage tourism refers to travelers seeing or otherwise experiencing built heritage, living culture, or manifestation of art. It is worth noting, however, that heritage tourists are somewhat more difficult to define because they may have very little interest in cultural heritage, or conversely, a great deal of interest. And what is cultural tourism? The term cultural tourism and heritage tourism are often used in the industry and in scholarly writing as being two separate but related, or overlapping phenomena. Cultural tourism is sometimes used to refer to people visiting or participating in living cultures, contemporary art and music, or other elements of modern culture. So what's the difference between the two? Some observers suggest that heritage tourism is based upon antiquated relics. It tends to occur in rural areas and is more place-bound, whereas cultural tourism is dominant in urban areas and in less place-bound, so the content is the same, while the context is different. This is according to National Trust for Historic Preservation, 29B. Interestingly, none of these elements differs significantly from the meaning of heritage tourism. Casual observers or serious hobbyists consuming living and built culture in rural and urban contexts and their own personal experiences, including education and cultural edification, are an important part of the heritage tourism experience. Even contemporary art and living culture are important constituents of heritage because they are based upon past, recent, or distant creative means and social values, and because they become historical while they are being produced. In summary, cultural heritage tourism encompasses built patrimony, living lifestyle, ancient artifacts, and contemporary art and culture. While some authors prefer to draw distinctions between cultural tourism and heritage tourism based on people's desires or the currency of resources, the differences, if they exist at all, are rather subtle, and both terms will be used interchangeably throughout this course. Thank you, and see you in the next session.